Okay, today we're looking at the trap bar deadlift. For me, this is probably one of the most essential lifts, especially for combat athletes, because you can kill so many birds with one stone. I can get the most bang for my buck. The thing I found when you're doing your strength training for combat sports is that the training itself, the combat training, the skills training, can be difficult to recover from itself. You know, quite often you can be sore and tired, and if you're then going to go and do a 1, 2, 3 times a week strength training routine, it can get too much, especially once you pass mid-30s. It becomes very difficult. So I want to find exercises where I can get the most out of it with one simple exercise. I want like 1 to 4 exercises that I rotate that kind of cover everything. I don't want to be in the gym for a long time doing multiple different exercises that I have to recover from. Another thing I have to recover from on top of the skills training. So for me, this is number 1. You get so much out of this. So a couple of things. I highly recommend that you use some form of fat grips on your bars. This is going to challenge your grip, challenge your forearms. Again, I'm killing more birds with one stone. Another thing I like to do is, if you can do it where you train, if you can do it bare feet, I would do it bare feet. If you can't do it bare feet, try and do it in flat shoes as opposed to running shoes with big, thick, heavy soles. First of all, one of the reasons I like this so much is because it's simple. The learning curve is very shallow. You can pick up the technique very easily. The thing about a straight bar deadlift is quite a technical lift, and you're gonna have to spend a long time getting very good at it before you can really start to shift a lot of weight, and ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm just gonna focus on this exercise here. For me, this is my number 1 essential lift. So I wouldn't overthink the technique. Just squat down and grab hold of the bar here. Try not to tip over like this. Try and make sure that you're lowering your body with your legs here, as opposed to lowering your body with your back. So this is going to put you into the position. I'm going to take hold of the handles, make sure they're right in the middle. If I grab them off center and I lift, the bar's going to come up in a clunky way. So I'm always looking for a central grip. When I'm using the thick bars, I like to use this monkey grip here, rather than gripping over the top like this. I like to take this grip, no thumb grip here. I want my feet kind of on train tracks, but slightly turned out. They're not overly turned out, they're not turned in, but they're not completely straight. They're just opened up a little bit because it gives your hips a little bit of room to move here between your legs. Now, I'm squatting down, I'm taking hold of the center of the bar. Now, what I would like you to do is, I'd like you to load your body with as much of the weight as you can without lifting it. So we're gonna lift 99% of the weight. So my body is now loaded with the weight. And then I'm gonna take that last 1% and I'm gonna stand up. At the top of the lift, I want you to add a shrug, because as I said, we wanna try and get as much out of the lift as we possibly can. And then I'm gonna lower the weight under control. So the whole movement is gonna look like this. I'm gonna load my body first, and then I'm gonna lift and shrug at the top. Control down. I load my body first, and then I lift, and I shrug at the top, and I control down. Now we're gonna look at how we program this exercise. With the trap bar deadlift, our focus is to develop strength. So we're going to keep our rep range low. That way, over time, we can maximize the amount of weight we can lift without taxing ourselves and requiring a lot of recovery. So let's break down the sets. We're going to do 3 sets of 3 reps. These are example numbers. Yours will be completely different, but I encourage you to start light. Let's say, for instance, we start with 60 kilos. The first set is going to be 60 kilos for 3 reps. The second set will be 65 for 3 reps. And the third set will be 70 for 3 reps. That's your first week. That's your entire trap bar deadlift workout for that week. The following week, we're going to up it a little bit. This is basic progressive overload. We're going to start with 65, move on to 70, and then finish up with 3 sets of 75. The following week, the third week, we will continue that progression. 70, 75, 80. Now, over time, you're going to get to bigger numbers, and 5 kilo jumps could be too much. Again, here's an example. All we're going to do is jump up in smaller increments. So it could be 2.5. So it could be 80, 82.5, and 85. So you could see here, if we use this as an example, we've gone from lifting 60 kilos to 85 kilos, but we've taken 4 weeks to get there. The reason we do that is because we give ourselves lots of practice, lots of repetitions. This way we are going to get better at the form. We are going to give our body more time to adapt to the exercise, and we're going to develop the strength slowly over time. We're not going to rush to our maximum weights where we'll end up hitting plateaus very early. We want to have continual development. We want to develop slowly over time, trust the process, and keep adding weight incrementally over time.